Hi there, I'm DeDe. In this 30-minute session, we'll perform single balance poses, which we will eventually string together into chains of 2 or even 3 before we switch legs. In doing this, we call on our ability to balance over an extended period of time, which can build athletic performance, strength, and of course, stability. This will also allow us to move better in general, in our everyday life tasks. Toward the end, as we usually do, we'll do some mobility work so we're not tight and stiff. Here's what you'll need: a yoga mat if you have one. If you're on a hard floor like I am, you probably want one. That's a good investment. If you're on carpet or some other softer surface, you probably can get by without one. Make sure you have a small towel and some water for hydration. Feel free to take off your shoes and socks and give yourself plenty of space. We're going to be doing stuff up here, out like this, over like this, so make sure that you have plenty of room to move. And make sure that you move at your own perfect, mindful pace. You take breaks when you need to, and you skip something if it doesn't feel right for you. I'll try to give you lots of options. All right, so now we come to a standing position. You might want to face your mat and your body to face me. Like I have mine, you could just mirror that. Bring your feet so they're even and straight. Soften your knees a tiny bit. Make your pelvis neutral so it's level all the way around. Shoulders over hips, and as always, ears over shoulders so you can stand up tall and straight. And if you feel that you're standing up tall and straight but you're not sure, put your hand on the front and back of your pelvis, and if one part of it feels like it's sticking out more than the other part, it probably is. So that goes from right to left as well. It can apply in any direction. So see if you can get yourself as straight and neutral as possible. And then we'll join the hands together in front of the heart center, keeping the shoulders down and the head back. And then here's where we can close the eyes if we're comfortable doing that. What that does right away is it makes you have to balance a little bit more, because we use our eyes for a significant portion of our balancing skill. If you close the eyes, you actually take away a big chunk of what the brain and body use to keep us balanced. So in a dark environment, or when you close your eyes, or when you're wearing sunglasses, any of that stuff, it challenges your balance a little bit more. Keep that in mind. If you're comfortable, you'll close your eyes now. Whether your eyes are open or closed right now, bring your awareness to your feet. Make the weight even across right and left foot. And then make the weight also even across toes and heels. And make the inner edge and the outer edge of your feet equally heavy. And if you can, try to keep your arches lifted. And you can do that by engaging your leg muscles a little bit more, so they're not rigid and tight and you're not holding your breath, but you will activate your legs by pressing your feet firmly down evenly. Try to be every inch of your actual height here. All right, keep the balanced lower body, equally balanced feet. And then let's warm up through our wrists a little bit with a little bit of a circle, like you're drawing a circle on the ceiling with your fingers. One more. Now let's release the arms down, and we'll come up on one tiptoe, and then down, and then the other set of tiptoes, up and down. Do you feel a stretch through the underside of your foot, through your toe area? And do you feel how you have to shift the weight over to do this? Shifting the weight, that's part of balancing. This is dynamic balancing, where we're moving along with our balancing. We're going to do things that are much more challenging than this, but I welcome you to come back to something easier if you need to, at any point. Let's try both sets of tiptoes now. So the heels go up, you can inhale, and then they come down when you exhale. It doesn't have to be very high. If your head is forward, you'll find yourself falling forward a lot. If you're looking down like this and you come up, chances are you're going to fall forward. We don't want to fall in any direction. At any point, if you need to step off of your mat, feel free to do that. If you're not on a mat, if you need to go to a harder floor, as long as you can still see and hear me. Let's add some arms to this now. Palms face forward. Arms lift, thumbs are up. Let your arms go a little bit behind you and then way out to the sides. Then when you come up on your tiptoes, try not to lean out towards your little toes too much. Keep the ball of your foot just as heavy. Let's keep breathing, but next time come up on your tiptoes and hold there. Just hold there, but keep the breath going. So you should feel a little challenge, maybe a little bit micro adjusting through your ankles and your feet. Shoulders are down. All right, let's lean. Everything comes down now. Good job. Roll your shoulder right and left. Anytime you need to go over to a wall or the back of a sturdy chair or a countertop to stabilize and steady yourself while you're balancing, I want you to do it. Even if you never use that object, just knowing that it's there sometimes gives us more confidence so we can do things without fear. You always want to be safe. All right, now let's roll our ankles around the same sort of way. So on the toes, roll around. We're going to be using our feet quite a bit. We'll use our entire body, but we'll be standing for most of this. So our feet will be used in every single move. So we have to prepare them. Let your knee go forward and out, forward and out. And then both feet are down. Let's roll the shoulders up and back and down. Both shoulders up, back and down. Two more. So make sure you still have equal weight across both of your feet. And now let's inhale, sweep the arms back, and then exhale, bring the hands together in front of the heart. Let's do that again. When you're ready to inhale, and when you're ready to exhale. Let's add the rest of our body. So inhale, open up, and then sit into chair pose as you exhale. So your hips go back and your knees track straight ahead. Let's do it again. I'll show you from the side. So your focal point could go from straight ahead to then slightly down, just a few feet in front of you. So now that we're utilizing the large muscles in our lower body, our hip muscles, our thigh muscles, some of our back muscles, now we're going to start to create even more heat. So one of the main reasons why we don't want our knees to splay outward or collapse inward when we're doing a move like this is because it cuts down on the wear and tear of our knee joints if they can track properly, in this case, straight toward the center of each foot. Now this time we stay down And we have our hands on our thighs. Inhale, lift your tailbone, and then exhale, tuck your tailbone under. And I'll show you from the side again. Inhale, tailbone up. Exhale, tailbone under. Warming up through our low back, through our pelvis. Make sure you're supporting your upper body weight with your hands on your thighs. Can you do this without hunching your shoulders up toward your ears? Try to. One more. Now come back to neutral and then sweep your arms out and up and inhale. And on the exhale, let's take one hand down and the other arm goes up and over. And then we'll switch. Make sure you're supporting with this hand that's going down. Feel that wonderful stretch through your low back, waist, through some of your side rib muscles, up toward your armpit. All those areas are stretching and limbering. One more. Now let's inhale, take the arms out. On the exhale, wrap your arms around, going one way. Inhale, wrap your arms around, going the other way. Now keep your feet in place, but let's turn the body. So inhale, keep your feet in place, and then exhale, wrap your arms around and turn. And then we'll do it again. The other way. So this is dynamic balancing because we're turning our head, we're turning our eyes, we're moving our arms, but we're staying in place with our feet. So this might not feel that challenging to you, or it might. It is a challenge though, however great or small. Remember, these are some of the easier options you can come back to if what we do feels like too much. Now inhale to the center, exhale, relax your arms down. Roll your shoulders up and back and down. And again. And then let the shoulders stay down. Now I'll turn to the side so you can see this one better. Inhale, we're still standing the same way. On the exhale, slide the hands down the legs and tip from the hip, hinging forward. So if you haven't joined me yet, go ahead and join me. Inhale. Hips over the ankles, and then exhale, press your hips back. Just keep your knees a little bit soft. So this is a lot more about a hip hinge than it is about squatting down like we do for chair pose. This is different than chair. Tip from your hips, support with your hands. One more time. Let's call this half airplane because it's kind of like airplane pose, but both of our feet are on the ground. Stay here now. And try to balance the weight equally from the toes to the heels. Do the best you can with that. What's important is our posture here. The neck and the back are all in one straight line. Your abdominal muscles are pulled in to help support your back. Your arms are helping to support your back. Your shoulders are away from your ears. Now on your next inhale, push off with your hands. Let's come up, sweep the arms. And then exhale, hands in front of the heart. Step your feet out a little bit wider. Now we'll twist. Our arms are quite a bit more floppy than they were earlier. And you'll come up on the tiptoes of your trailing foot. You'll unload your trailing foot. So this is a recovery twist. We'll be doing a few of these. Now let's get back into our half airplane pose. This time we'll add some different arms, if it's right for you. Starting once again, hips over the ankles, inhale, hinge from the hip as you exhale. We'll stay here. Now we can try one arm out. You can turn your thumb up here if that feels better for your shoulder. What about both arms? That means we're not supporting our back with our hands. If that's not right for you, make sure you keep one hand at least on your leg. Now squeeze the shoulder blades toward the spine, no matter where your hands are. Let's try to make the weight a little more even now from the toes to the heels. Do you feel the challenge in your back? There's a lot of work going on there. Now let's release the arms. The hands are on the legs. Inhale, come up, sweep the arms. And then exhale, hands in front of the heart. Let's go up and down on our tiptoes once again. Up and down. You don't have to go very high. And then the feet come down flat, and then we'll inhale and move into chair pose on the exhale, and we'll stay here. Now, putting that together with tiptoes, can you come up on your tiptoes in your chair pose? Stay right there. Your back is long and straight, your heels are up, doesn't matter how high. Brace the core all the way around, from your abdomen to your back, from your chest around to your upper back. Everything is braced and you're breathing. Heels down, standing up. Inhale, sweep the arms, step your feet apart, and as you exhale, twist from side to side. Keep breathing. That's challenging. We build a lot of strength in our back with that sequence. Now let's try the half airplane with tiptoes. Are you game to try? Get yourself near a wall, a countertop, or a sturdy chair if you need to. Starting here. By the way, this is mountain pose. Be strong here like a mountain. And then inhale, on the exhale, hands slide down your legs, tipping from your hip. See how much longer and straighter and more forward and down the torso is compared to chair. Now you can try one arm out or no arms out, or you can try both arms out. See how it feels. And come up on your tiptoes if you're able. How about just one set of tiptoes if that's better for you? Now let your breath help to sustain your strong core here. Can you squeeze your shoulder blades toward your spine just a little bit more? One heel down, the other heel down, hands on your legs. Let's hinge all the way up. Now we'll do a side bend. So take your feet a little wider than hip joint distance. Inhale. Right hand goes down, on the exhale, left arm goes over. Stay here. Doesn't matter how far over you go, you just go your amount. Whatever amount of lateral flexion you can do, that's what you'll do. Now on your next inhale, come up, and then exhale over to the other side. So if you had some tension that built up around your torso anywhere, hopefully this is helping to alleviate some of that. Now in keeping with this theme, let's switch to the other side, but watch. Take your left foot, cross it over in front, and then we'll push the hips out to the right and take the right arm over. So in this scenario, your front knee is bent, your back knee is straight, you're still facing straight ahead with your torso, and you're trying to push your hips out, in this case, to the right side. This is a good stretch for the side of the body, including the IT bands down below your hip. Now let's come up and we'll reverse it. So step out, right foot crosses over like this, your hips go out to the left, and your left arm goes up and over. So the IT bands, while you're stretching, just watch, are right through here. That's where they come close to the surface. And it's not really a band. Close to the surface, it's kind of flat like a band, but it goes deep between our quadriceps and our hamstrings. It's part of the connective tissue that holds together the rest of our connective tissue. So we're getting down into our IT bands with this stretch. It's called an IT band stretch for that reason. Now on your next inhale, come on up, and then let's exhale and step apart. Now go in the opposite direction. So hands on your hips, shoulders down. Take your right toes out, soften your left knee, your standing knee. Flex your right foot, and then lean to the left just a little bit. So we're getting ready to move into 5-pointed star. This is just half of 5-pointed star. Let's come down. We'll try the other side now. Imagine there's a wall behind you and you're staying flat against that wall, taking your left toes out, flexing the foot, softening your standing leg. Stay against your imaginary wall now as you lean over. So this is an unusual relationship to gravity, isn't it? We're not used to being sort of sideways like this to gravity while standing on one foot. All right, let's come back up. Now we'll do the first side again. This time we're going to add the arms. So thumbs up, elbows in tight. Take your foot out, flex your foot, start to lean over, and then to the best of your ability, straighten your elbows here. This is challenging. Can you feel the challenge? Where do you feel it? I feel it in my standing hip and in my top waist. And then let's come in and we'll switch sides. Tuck your elbows in, stay tall. This is mountain pose, remember? Keep an element of mountain pose as you go to the other side. So you know what would feel really good after this 5-pointed star? The IT band stretch. So we'll put them together. So go ahead and come in and down. Start with the 5-pointed star. Now go with me here. Cross your right leg in front, take your right hand to your hip, and your left arm goes over the top. Push your hips out to the left to the best of your ability. Now, can we go back into 5-pointed star? Can you keep your eyes on a focal point? Maybe not me because I'm moving. Something that's not moving might be better. And then let's come back to mountain pose and we'll go right to the other side. Ready? Here we go. And then into the IT band stretch, left leg, whoops, left leg comes across. Push your hips out, reach over. So hips going to the right this time. Anytime you need to bring your foot down because you're losing your balance, that's what you do. If you're not next to a wall where you can stabilize yourself that way, you have to put your foot down. Sometimes you have to put your foot down. All right, back to our 5-pointed star. Here we go. And then let's release that, both feet down. Take your feet wide, turn your toes out, bend your knees and sink down. Make sure that you have turned your toes out to match your knees. And then we're going to bring our hands either onto the seat of a chair, down onto a couple of stacked up books or yoga blocks. Let's turn the toes forward. Or if you can get all the way down to the floor, get all the way down to the floor with your hands. And we'll stay here for just a moment. Try to let tension go through your back and your neck. Your legs are sturdy and strong. If your knees are bent, that's fine. Just make sure that you turn your toes out a tiny bit so they match with your knees. All right, and then walk with your hands around toward one end of your mat. Turn your toes that way and drop your back knee and your back foot down. Now, if you're like me, you like a little bit of extra padding under your back knee. So put your folded towel under your back knee as needed. This is a kneeling lunge. Your front knee is over your ankle. Your hips are at least a little bit forward of your back knee. And then your hand that's closest to me, take that arm up and out to the side or up higher without bending it quite as much at the elbow. And we'll stay here. So our legs worked very hard putting together some of these poses. We're giving our hips a little bit of love now, a little bit of stretch. Let's try this on the other side now. So the way we'll get there is we'll tuck the back foot, lift the back knee, walk with the hands around. You might want to move the padding so it's going to be under your knee. And then we'll drop the knee and make sure the front knee ends up over the ankle. Drop your back foot down too. So here we have this plumb line with the shin, and we're a little bit forward of our back knee. Bring your arm that's closest to me out or up, and we'll stay with this. Shoulders are soft. Maybe you're looking up a little bit, maybe not. We're almost finished. All right, and then we'll take ourselves down. Now you might want to be on your hands and knees in order to then safely move into a supine or lying on your back position. Make sure you give yourself a pillow if you feel like you might need it. If you don't need it, you can just push the towel out of the way. Let's recline onto our back. Come down on your elbows and then all the way down. Let's bring the knees into the chest. One hand on each knee. Circle both of your knees around in the same direction now. Use your hands to make the motion. Your legs are totally relaxed. That feels nice, doesn't it? On our back, it feels great. Let's go the other way. Okay, coming back to center now, straighten out your left leg, and then with your left hand, guide your right knee across into a spinal twist. Take your right arm off to the right, keep your right shoulder down, and then bring your head back to the center so you're not looking at me the whole time. That feels so good on the hips and the low back, doesn't it? It's just what my body needed. I hope it's what your body needed too. Help your knee back to the center. And then we'll center our hips and we'll straighten our right leg. And then with the right hand, the left knee comes across. Make sure your left shoulder stays down. And then we use the breathing here to help relax some of the tension that we might be feeling, to help us relax overall. Deep breathing does a lot of relaxation for a lot of our different systems in our bodies. I can feel the stretch through my left shoulder into my left chest area near my collarbones. Maybe you can too. All right, let's come back to the center. Now this next pose is just like legs up the wall pose, if you're familiar with that. But instead of getting up and moving over to a wall, let's just do it right here. So extend one leg and then the other leg up. Keep as much bend in your knees as you need to. And then find a position for your legs where they feel weightless. For me, it's right about there. And then your neck is neutral. Arms are relaxed down at your sides for stability. Try to soften your shoulders and let the weight of your head drop into the mat or the pillow if you're using a pillow. If you feel like having your legs here doesn't feel relaxing, try bending your knees a lot more. That might feel more relaxing to you. You can also move over to a wall and do this in the traditional way, against a wall, where your legs are leaning against the wall. The wall's here. We're almost done. All right, now we'll bring the right knee in toward the chest. Let's hold on to the back of the thigh and then reach your left heel away from you and let your left leg come all the way down. Pull the right knee in toward your right shoulder. Stay here. So you feel the stretch through your hip flexor on your left leg, right through here. That's what we're after. Now we'll switch. Right leg is straight. You might also feel some stretch in the bent leg side across the glutes here. All right, now from here, let's turn ourselves carefully over onto our side. As we usually do, use the hands to help yourself up. And then sit on your folded towel if you need to. Sit on the mat like I am, or if you need to, get up and sit in a chair. It's totally fine. Shoulders back and down. So how did you do? Training balance, especially multiple chains of balancing poses back to back, is hard work. We just did it. You felt it. But the effort is so worth it because you have better balance, better agility, you can do your everyday life tasks a little better, you can walk, hike, whatever you like to do with more confidence. Balance is really important. And the good news is we can bring it back. The more we practice it, the better we get at it. So make sure that you practice balance regularly. Thanks for being here with me. Thank yourself for being here and helping yourself get better at balancing. I'll see you